The onus under English defamation law is on Colleen to prove that her social media post was substantially true.
Welcome to WatchMojoUK, and today we're looking at times celebrities crossed the line or spoke out of turn.
Some people find Phillip Schofield the nicest person in the whole world. I personally didn't.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
Carol Vorderman.
First, in our first hour, I want to talk to you about our political system.
In 2023, Carol Vorderman announced that she'd shockingly been sacked by the BBC because of her political views. Because, on social media and on independent radio stations like LBC, Vorderman was outspoken against the Tories, her employment with the ostensibly non-partisan BBC became untenable.
We're seemingly, of course, watching the death throes of an unimaginably unpopular government.
She never said anything about the government whilst on air with the Beeb, but its updated social media guidelines meant that if Vorderman wanted to keep speaking her mind, she couldn't work for them anymore.
Right, let's have a look at the facts, shall we? Because unlike this government, I like to deal in facts, right?
Still, there are plenty of people out there who are likely happy with this and don't believe celebrities should have opinions about current events. Sheila Hancock.
And Sheila Hancock has just released her new book, Old Rage, in which, well, she speaks her mind.
Apparently, asking Channel 4 to stop showing clips of strangers' genitalia is going too far, at least according to the producers of Gogglebox. Also in 2023, Dame Sheila Hancock came out to say that she'd been dropped from Celebrity Gogglebox because she'd asked them to show her shows that weren't full of people's private parts.
No, you're angry, and I don't blame you for being angry.
But out of the anger, also, Lorraine, I found a sort of peace.
According to her, they didn't like that and replaced her on the sofa with somebody who was a bit more amenable to nudity. Hancock also crossed the line in her youth by demanding the BBC let her do a contentious sketch, and according to her, she was then blacklisted by the corporation for a decade.
You're so right. You're a very wise woman.
Oh, darling, I'm not.
Oh, no, you are.
Aon Holmes.
We were lied to, and Ruth and I, to this day, are embarrassed and ashamed when we see those pictures.
In late 2020, Aon Holmes and Ruth Langsford were unceremoniously dropped from their regular job on This Morning. But why? Well, according to Holmes, it's because his comments about 5G upset ITV CEO Carolyn McCall. Holmes said a few vague things about a potential link between 5G masts and the spread of COVID-19, which led to a bevy of complaints to Ofcom.
Reporter saying 5G is perfectly safe. Of course 5G is perfectly safe. And I said, who says so?
It was essentially ruled that he should be a bit more careful about what he says on television in future, but he was then let go from ITV entirely. Since then, he's got a job with GB News, saying all kinds of things, largely about his scandal-ridden former colleague Phillip Schofield.
I'm thinking, oh good, hopefully he's going. You know, hurrah.
Wagatha Christie.
Rebecca Vardy has now filed a claim for libel. She says she didn't leak anything, and she says she suffered a torrent of online abuse, ridicule and also threats.
This all got absurdly out of control when Rebecca Vardy decided that she'd been so damaged by a tweet and Instagram post from Colleen Rooney that she needed to take Rooney to court. Rooney had determined that somebody was leaking her private Instagram stories to the tabloids and decided to do some sleuthing to get to the bottom of it.
So many people do it. The hypocrisy online of people that I know that sell stories.
And then complain about the paparazzi
and then are complaining about, you know, this case.
She posted a fake story and set it so that Vardy was the only one who could see it. Lo and behold, it soon appeared in the press, and Rooney named and shamed Vardy publicly, who then sued her for libel. But then the ruling came back in favour of Rooney, making the whole thing a very expensive waste of time.
Do you think actually, as again, a lot of commentators are saying they've both lost? Because both their reputations have been quite shredded by this.
I think they've both lost.
Gary Lineker.
The BBC has been in extensive discussions with Gary and his team in recent days.
Another celebrity who caused a scandal by speaking out against the government. In 2023, Gary Lineker was temporarily dropped from Match of the Day after comparing Tory policy to 1930s Germany on Twitter.
The BBC has decided that he will step back from presenting Match of the Day until we've got an agreed and clear position on his use of social social media.
On one side were people, including most of Lineker's colleagues, who thought he should be allowed to say what he liked on his own accounts. But on the other side were those who wanted him to stop commenting on politics entirely. Since Lineker is paid a huge salary each year by the Beeb, it could be argued that he should take the corporation's impartiality mandate more seriously.
The waiting press pack told Gary Lineker what he already knew, that he's at the centre of a row over BBC impartiality because of what he's put on social media.
The BBC has since changed its rules to ban people from doing what Lineker did going forward. Jeremy Clarkson.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how thrilled are you that Top Gear is nowhere near as successful now that you're not on it?
It's a hard face to pull, this one.
Many times Jeremy Clarkson has arguably gone too far. He went too far with his comments about striking public workers, with his remarks about all kinds of nationalities on Top Gear, and when he punched a BBC producer and got his contract axed.
James and Richard always say, no, it's a shame, we wish them all the best. I don't.
But since leaving the BBC, he kept getting in trouble. In 2023, it was ruled by Ipso, the press regulator, that a column Clarkson wrote about the Duchess of Sussex in The Sun was, quote, discriminatory. The Sun defended him, but ultimately took the article down.
In his column, he wrote, Meghan, though, is a different story. I hate her, not like I hate Nicola Sturgeon or Rose West. I hate her on a cellular level.
It did get him briefly into bother with Amazon too, with rumours flying that Clarkson's farm and the Grand Tour were going to be cancelled. Ratgate. Despite the fact that they get very healthy paychecks for going down under, more than once, the stars of I'm a Celeb have tried to organise against their ITV overlords.
I'm going to have a rat tonight. I'm not even kidding.
Way back in 2003, the celebrities staged a minor revolution when they were provided only one sausage for dinner. But a few years later, and the celebs would again lament their lack of meat by killing, cooking, and then eating a rat they found near the set.
Would you roast
No,
rat?
I fillet it, then put into the risotto.
Are you up for that? Because, I mean...
The notorious rat-eating incident attracted attention not just from the public, but from Australia's RSPCA. The ringleaders, Gino D'Acampo and Stuart Manning, were even arrested, and ITV got fined. Clearly, producers should have stopped them before it got out of hand.
It's very good.
Is it?
Oh, God, good.
Tastes nice.
Piers Morgan. He's made his entire career by going too far in various ways, and it's hard to pick just one incident.
OK, I'm done with this.
No.
Sorry, no. Sorry.
Do you know what? That's pathetic.
You can track him, mate, but not my own stuff.
No.
See you later.
I'm being...
Sorry, can't do this.
This is absolutely diabolical behaviour.
Of course, we best remember him for storming off Good Morning Britain and ultimately quitting the very same day after some relatively mild criticism from the show's weatherman.
This is a 2-hour trash-a-thon of our royal family, of the monarchy, of everything the Queen has worked so hard for.
But years later, Morgan, once a titan on Fleet Street, found himself sacked as the editor of the Daily Mirror. This was because of a huge scandal over photos of British soldiers allegedly mistreating prisoners of war. The photos were published, the army was smeared, and then it came out that the photos were a hoax. Morgan's career helming a major British newspaper was over.
But now Piers has decided to leave the programme. Some of you may cheer and others will boo.
Lawrence Fox.
Free speech is everything, but it comes with responsibility.
What do you have to do to get sacked from GB News, the alternative broadcaster that prides itself on being able to say the unsayable? Well, during an interview with Dan Wootton, Fox went after left-wing journalist Ava Evans, making highly offensive comments about her. Fox was suspended for this immediately, and GB News issued an on-air apology.
Whether Lawrence should stay on air is not my decision, and Dan's absence tonight is also beyond my control.
Fellow broadcaster Calvin Robinson threatened to walk in solidarity with Fox and was then also sacked. It was definitely very embarrassing for GB News to turn around and drop some of its most popular pundits because they went too far on a channel where they were encouraged to do so.
But the comments made by Lawrence, in my view, were sexist, misogynistic, and unusually, in the frenzied climate of the so-called culture wars, have been condemned across the political spectrum.
Phillip Schofield.
But she again is being as false as he is, and nobody is talking about the elephant in the room.
He was one of the highest paid faces on television, but he pushed ITV to the edge by consistently lying to studio bosses. After allegations began to surface that Schofield was involved with a much younger man who worked as a runner on the show, Schofield and the person in question repeatedly denied the rumours.
Now, we can't start today's show without paying tribute to the man who spent the last 2 decades sitting on the This Morning sofa, Phillip Schofield.
They lied to everybody, including Holly Willoughby, until the pressure got too much and Schof came clean. The resultant scandal was, inexplicably, one of the biggest stories of 2023, with Schofield resigning from every ITV show and even appearing in a primetime interview with the BBC. He definitely went too far by having and lying about the affair for so long.
Quite simply, we all know he's one of the best live television broadcasters this country has ever had. And we and all the team wish him all the best for the future. Yeah.
Let us know in the comments if you think these celebs crossed the line.
Just reading that out then, it made me feel so uncomfortable. And all we're doing is reporting the news.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojoUK and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.